What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics here for a PSA reveal video. That's right, they ship cards back home. Who knew? Uh, all kidding aside, this is a 10 card order that I did through CardCollector2. I dropped these off to the shop around Halloween at, I forget what the service level was called. I think it was regular service. These were about $25 to $28 a card. I think it was about 25 bucks a card. I could not find my invoice because I paid for it actually up front when you grade with them, which is fine. And yeah, I think this was about 25 bucks a card. So it took like 9 months, 10 months to get these back. So, and you're going to see in this submission, this definitely was a product of its time, if you will. This is a 10 card order. I think 6 of the cards are lower end base cards, but only paying $25 to $28. I think we'll call it 25. Only paying $25 a card compared to today's prices makes this seem fairly reasonable. So, I typically like to sub with PSA myself. This was my first time actually using a group submitter, and the main reason why I chose to use them was the ability to drop off and pick up in person and not have to worry about shipping things. Because you save some money there. You know, I don't have to pay for shipping and insurance sending this stuff to PSA. I don't have to pay for shipping and insurance back. So it's a win-win for me. I can just go in and pick the stuff up. I'm about 2 hours away from Ryan's shop, so it's not like it's right down the street, but I'm down in the Columbus area often enough to be able to swing in and pick stuff up for as often as I was submitting. Now, this is the only submission I had out through him. This is the only one I got back. Shortly after this, I really didn't have a ton to grade anymore other than Marvel stuff, and that I was just sending on my own because I wanted to get it in and out quick. So we're doing something a little different here. Ran into some audio issues on this video when I went to edit it. So I'm just going to do a voiceover for this section of the video because the audio was all jacked up. It started fine. It started crystal clear, and then it progressively got worse as the video went on. You might have been able to hear that right as it cut right before I jumped on here on the voiceover. So this might be a little bit strange, but we're going to voice over it and see what happens. It's just me going through the cards on the thing anyway, so it's not like it's that crazy. So if the words don't match up with my hands moving around, that's why. I'll do the best that I can here. So, yeah. Don't know why this keeps happening when I film desktop, but it's getting a little frustrating, and I hate audio issues. That's the moral of this story. So, but shout out to CardCollector2 grading team. They were absolutely fantastic. This is me getting ready to go through this stuff. First up is a Kyle Lewis base Topps Chrome. Pretty much the boringest card you could possibly have in a PSA submission. Back when I submitted this, I thought it was going to be pretty good. Came back a PSA 10. You will always take a PSA 10 if you can get one. I probably broke even on this card. I was into it for next to nothing. I bought a couple boxes, I think like mega boxes or whatever, when Topps Chrome hit retail shelves. And this was one of the cards that I pulled out of it. So I sent it off for grading. So I'm into it for maybe 20 bucks. I don't know, because I got other stuff out of there that I ended up selling. I'll hold that for the spring, see what happens. Tyler Herro base optic. I'm into these for nothing because I bought a bunch of optic retail and ended up selling it. So I have no cost basis on these cards beside the grading fees, and those both came back a PSA 10. So I think in PSA 10s, those go for about 30, give or take. I won't actively try to move those, but I'll carry them around. Most of the stuff in this submission, I'll carry it around in the case, and if someone wants it, I'll trade it, I'll deal it, whatever. But I'm not going to immediately throw it up on eBay or anything like that for these cards. This NBA stuff, I would rather just hold for the season to start and kind of see where it goes from there. So, but Tyler Herro base optic, once again, when you're into it for next to nothing, it just doesn't hurt that much. Especially at 25 bucks a card grading, or, you know, like I said, whatever the submission ended up costing me. So we'll hold on to those, see what happens with them. Maybe his stuff gets a little bit of a run up before the season starts, or maybe I get lucky and he gets traded and his stuff bounces there. Next up are some RJ Barrett base prisms. So the story here was I had bought a bunch of Barrett base prisms back when they were $5 to $9 a card. They spiked up, and right prior to the NBA season starting, I sold just about every single one of them. In fact, I think I submitted this in October, right around Halloween. Right at that same time, I had sold every Barrett that I owned, just about, or I'd set it aside to sell. And I pulled out my two best ones out of the 8 or 9 that I had and sent those off with Ryan to get graded. I was not a big RJ Barrett believer, and I thought his prices were a little overinflated. So got that part right. One came back at 10, one came back at 9. Perfectly fine. I don't know what comps on these are right now. I'll have to double check, but I am into these cards for probably $30, and that's including the $25 grading fee. Like I said, I was buying these back when they were $5 to $8 a card, and I made plenty of profit off RJ Barrett base Prism, buying them when they were cheap and selling them back when the market spiked on him around Thanksgiving to Christmas. Like I said, I don't remember exactly when I sold them. I'd have to check the spreadsheet to see. So, same thing here. I will put these in the case, and if someone is desperate for some RJ Barrett, I would move them. If not, I'll just hold them and hope to sell them right before the season starts, or maybe he gets dealt to the Trailblazers or something in a Lillard or McCollum deal. Who knows? So, but so far only one PSA 9. This card here is one that I really wanted a 10 on. There was 2 cards in this submission. I was desperate for a 10. This was one of them. Everything else could have 9, and I probably would have been pretty okay with it. This is an AJ Brown field level silver from his rookie year from 2019. I'm a big AJ Brown guy. I'm a big field level guy. I picked up a handful of these for about 15 to $20 a card about a year or so ago. Back when wide receivers were cheap and the buzz was quarterbacks or running backs and wide receivers were going to be the new rage. I sent this one in. I sold the other one because it had a soft corner. This one ended up getting a 9. So I was a little disappointed in that one. This was one that I really wanted a 10 on. I think I know why this one got a 9. I'll show it here in a second. It has a little bit of a soft corner, which I kind of knew when I sent it. But I bought 2 of them. I sold one for a small profit. I think I sold one to cover the cost of both because it had about doubled in value. So I was into this one for basically just grading fees. A PSA 10 does about $300 in this card. I don't know what a 9 does. I haven't looked. I'm going to guess probably $60, $75 maybe. So I have the card off camera here. I'm about to show. It has a soft bottom left corner. Not super soft, but a little white coming through there and a little bit of chipping. But just a little tiny white, little raised up on the edge there. And I remember this from when I submitted the card, so I'm wondering if that's why it's got a 9. There might be other reasons as well. There was some roller marks on the back, but they usually let that slide. Pretty much every card has those. So I'm going to chalk it up to that corner. Maybe it was centering. Centering's weird on those cards. It's really hard to tell like what's on centered and what's off centered. So I'm going to chalk it up to the corner. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't know, but I'll probably look to move that one at either. I'm going to go to the Xenia and Raider Rips card show on Saturday and Sunday. That might be this past Saturday and Sunday, depending on when I decide to post this. But I'll look to move that there, or if I don't move them at the show this weekend, I'll end up selling it. This is your 2 Yordon Alvarez pink refractors from 2020 Topps Chrome. I actually went on a little Yordon spending spree back last fall when he was hurt and his stuff was like dirt cheap. I bought a handful of his base refractors for about $20 and some pink refractors for about $10. I went through them all and I had 2 that I thought were super clean. The other ones I ended up just selling raw not that long ago. So I got these 2 back. They were the 2 best of the best. I probably made a slight profit on the raw ones. Maybe broke even on them. I actually sold them to Jeff at the Canton Card Show this past weekend, actually. So these 2 both came back. PSA 10s. Once again, anyone that's watched the channel for a while knows I am a massive sucker for pink refractors. And I grabbed some of these. And once again, cleanest of the lot. These go for about $100 in a PSA 10, maybe 125, somewhere in that range. I'm into them for probably $45 a card, or probably $35 a card. I'll have to look. I think I spent about 10 or $15 per card raw on these, and then $25 to grade it. So I should make a pretty nice return on this, maybe $50, $60 profit on these 2 cards. So overall, this order, I kind of crushed it on already. in regards to profit, but a lot of it was because I was into the cards for so cheap, and the fact that I only paid 25 a card to grade it, whereas you can't get that now. So is what it is. Maybe I get lucky and Yordon gets a little bit of a bump as we move closer to the playoffs. The Astros look legit. He's having a really nice season. I know he gets knocked because he's DH only, but he's putting up really nice numbers. I've always really liked him as a player, as a hitter. I don't think he's going to be like, Juan Soto or Vlad Guerrero Jr. or anything, but he always felt underrated to me. Next up is a Zion Mosaic NBA debut. This is a pink prism. This I stumbled across in a pack, actually. I was at a Rite Aid, Walgreens, something like that. I forget which one. And they had a couple random packs of Mosaic on the shelf, cello packs. So I grabbed them, I ripped them both, and lo and behold, there was a pink Zion in there. Most of my other NBA stuff with Mosaic had already gone out and came back in PSA subs. This one was very late. I found this like a month or two after Mosaic had been on the shelves at Target. So pack pulled this one, came back at 10. So I'm into this one for basically, I'm going to call it like 35 bucks, 25 for grading fees, and 10 bucks for the cello pack. That's about a $100 card in a PSA 10, give or take. So this is another one. I'll put it in the case. If it catches someone's eye at one of these card shows or a trade night or something, I would move it. No problem. But if it doesn't, then I'll probably look to sell it come October-ish. Back when the NBA stuff starts to spike again. I'm in no rush to move this card. So I could be patient with it. But if someone really wanted it, I would move it in a trade, absolutely. Or if someone wanted to sell it in person, if someone offered me cash for it, I would probably just move it. I'm up on it pretty much no matter what. I'm probably going to make 50, 60 bucks on this card easy. I'm not going to sweat it. It's not one of his main cards. It's a debut card. It's not going to be a massive card. So I'm not going to worry about that card going crazy. Last one is the other most important card in this submission, the one I was hoping for a 10 on the most, this and the AJ Brown, KPJ. Anyone that's watched the channel forever knows I am a huge homer for KPJ, or at least I was when he was a Cav. I had bought a ton of his silver prisms back when the Cavs first drafted him and Prism first came out. So I got him dirt cheap. This was back when Prism Silvers were super cheap and prices hasn't gone nutty in the market yet, and KPJ wasn't catching a lot of buzz. So I had about 10 or 12 of these things. I ended up selling a lot of them raw for massive returns because I had a ton of KPJ stuff and I slowly sold it off as his prices continued to soar. I went through all of them and I plucked out the best, cleanest one. There was only one I thought was a legit PSA 10 candidate, and it was this one. That one I submitted, and I sold the rest all raw at like 50 to 75 bucks a card. I don't remember what I got for them. I'd have to look at the spreadsheet. But I was into them for literally $5 a card, and I had about a dozen of these things. So I made a massive return on it, and this one did come back a PSA 10. Not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. These go for about 300 bucks still. I might move it. I might keep it. I'm not sure. I'm going to throw it in the case. Once again, if someone's enticed by it, I would move it. I'm probably not going to actively, throw it up on eBay and try to sell it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Part of that is I've made so much profit off of KPJ, I can absolutely free roll this card, and I still really like the player. He's a nutcase, but the dude can play basketball. And I'm a little intrigued by that Rockets team with him and Jalen Green and Sengun and a couple of the other guys that they have. They have a fun little young team going on there. So I think I'm going to roll the dice on this one, just keep it in the case, and whatever happens, happens. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. So what are you going to do? But overall, pretty good PSA submission result. 8 out of 10 10s with 2 9s. Can't complain about that. So, especially with the way PSA has been grading lately, whether it's harder or different or whatever, who knows? But I will take it as a result. I'm not going to argue with that at all. You'll take that all day long. So, once again, shout out to CardCollector2, Ryan and his entire team. It was an absolute pleasure and very easy to deal with. Dropping the cards off, the way that they handled everything communication-wise via email. and then picking the cards back up again. All extremely, extremely smooth. If I ever did group subs again, I would absolutely look to use them again. Once again, I really liked it for the drop-off pickup factor because they were local to me. So that's all I have for you guys and girls today. Like I said, I don't know when this video is going to post yet, but if it's prior to Saturday, August 14th, I will be at the Xenia show on Saturday and the Rated Rip show on Sunday. This might go up on Saturday morning in the Xenia show, or I might hold it for early next week. It just kind of depends. So, but that's all I have for you guys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.